Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's a movie that bombed at the box office but was actually good? For the classic film it is. The 1971 Willy Wonka film didn't do well at the box office and earned lower than the budget was for it. The danger must be growing, but the rowers keep on rowing. And they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing. I agree. Nowadays, it's a cult classic. I prefer Wilder over Depp. Gene Wilder is the one true Wonka. Tremors. You mean, The Floor is Lava, the movie? Or, Redneck June. Kevin Bacon acted his ass off in the movie and I loved it. What the hell is going on? I mean, what the hell is going on? Question mark. Exclamation mark. I was always disappointed he never showed up in any of the sequels. I saw Tremors late at night, probably on USA, during a stretch of insomnia. It was far better than it had any right to be. Red Letter Media has a long video about it. They generally agree it's a nearly perfect screenplay. Currently working for a cast member and he says he loved that movie. The Thing. One of my all-time favorite horror movies. I understand it's regularly taught in film schools. Not just for the practical effects, but for the paranoia that was central to the story. You never knew, even at the very end, who was genuinely human and who was an imitation. Neither did the actors. Neither did any of the characters in the original story. The Thing imitates them so closely even it didn't know. It was copying them thought for thought. Not just a mimicry. It didn't even understand the concept of not doing so. The actors were deliberately kept in the dark about who was actually a thing. Though some developed suspicions. Office Space Edit. Thank you, whoever you are, for the award. It's my first one. I was of working age. Late teens, 20s, when this masterpiece came out, but I recently watched again as a 40-something and I can tell you that it's even more relevant to me than it was back in the day. It's almost so accurate that it depressed me lol. Yeah. The longer I work in an office, the more I relate to Milton. Idiocracy 2. Mike Judge doesn't tend to do well at the box office. But his films sure do have long-term relevance. Shawshank Redemption. I feel like the only reason a movie that great could bomb was because 1993 and 94 were just amazing years for Hollywood. Schindler's List. Forrest Gump. Jurassic Park. The Fugitive. The Firm. Sleepless in Seattle. The Lion King. A Few Good Men. Free Willy. Cool Runnings. Demolition Man. Homeward Bound. The Incredible Journey. Hocus Pocus. The Nightmare Before Christmas. The Mask. The Crow. Ace Ventura. What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Interview with the Vampire. Pulp Fiction. Leon the Professional. The Pagemaster. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Natural Born Killers. Addams Family Values. Dazed and Confused. Coneheads. Robin Hood. Men in Tights. Mrs. Doubtfire. Groundhog Day. Tombstone. Ed Wood. Dumb and Dumber. The Hudsucker Proxy. Grumpy Old Men. Last Action Hero. I could go on, but I think I made my point. Edit. Aladdin. Removed for being 1992. And replaced with 1994's The Lion King. Quote. Hocus Pocus was a flop at the box office because they released it in July. It got popular on the Disney Channel. Shawshank Redemption notoriously bombed at the box office and went on to receive critical acclaim. That was a monster year for film, so I'm not the least bit surprised. Seriously. Shawshank, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, The Lion King, Clerks, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, True Lies, Natural Born Killers, The Crow, Speed, Ed Wood. 1994 was insane. Master and Commander. The Far Side of the World did a modest box office, recouped its $150 million price tag, but didn't make much profit. It was nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, and was critically acclaimed, with a great cast. There were plans for a sequel, which never materialized in part due to the poor box office showing. Explanation for poor box office. Master and Commander was out around the same time as Elf. In December of 2003. Oof. M&C also released after the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie had done well just that summer. People may not have had the appetite for another maritime thriller, especially one without the humor and fantastical escapism of pirates. And why didn't those 10 nominations turn into awards? Because unfortunately for M&C, it had the misfortune of competing for them with Lord of the Rings. Return of the King, which neatly won 11 awards that year. Some serious bad luck and poor timing is the reason so many people have never heard of this masterpiece. My dad loved this movie so much that he actually read the books. The only time I'd ever seen him read. I tried to get him to read the Game of Thrones books. But he just had me read him and he asked me questions. But yeah, my dad read books because of this movie. I personally didn't really care for the movie. But man, it's an impressive one to get my dad to stop watching TV and pick up a books. The books are the greatest historical fiction ever written. Your dad has good taste. The first book is called Master and Commander, but only one little part of it is in the movie. The story Jack tells about Admiral Nelson. The 10th book is called The Far Side of the World, and more of the movie is based on it. There are also a few little parts from one other of the books in the movie. But there are 20 books total, and all of them are excellent. Oh my word. The scoring is fantastic. The timing is amazing. It's an incredible story, and for all you sticklers out there, historically accurate.